Don't miss My World with Mike Iaconelli as he spends a day on the water and in the world of some of the best professional athletes Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Waypoint TV. Tune in to the newest season of Hunt Club with Philip Culpepper on Waypoint TV. Experience the highs, lows, and extreme fun of hunting the southern turkey woods every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Waypoint TV.
A lot of people don't see that, there's ways that you can help your mental status by getting outdoors. And like with me, I get on the water, I enjoy it. That is my peaceful place when I'm out there. I enjoy the fishing. I enjoy the adrenaline of the fishing. You never know what you're going to catch. You never know how big it is. It just puts me at an all-time ease.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing in the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, coming to you from the Lance Chuck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio, Master Captain Angie Scott.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast. It's 2023, we're heading into spring. Competitive fishing is well underway for the year, and I am excited to feature another amazing female angler on the podcast this week. Terry Huffmaster, welcome to the show.
Hey, Angie, welcome. Thank you. It's an honor to be on, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned tournament fishing. You're no stranger to fishing tournaments, so definitely want to kind of talk about your experience in that whole world. But before we get into everything, if you wouldn't mind, just kind of give our audience a quick background on yourself and just specifically like how you got into the sport.
Oh, absolutely. I actually live in Georgia on the Florida state line. So I normally like to tell people I'm from North Florida, but it's South Georgia. I'm like 10 minutes from the Florida state line in 3 different directions. So we have a variety of places we can get out to Florida and fishing, but I've actually been fishing my whole life. My parents had me and my brother either on the water, in the woods. We were always active doing something, a lake, a pond, the rivers, the ocean. We've pretty much fished them all. And so that's basically, it's in my blood since then. And then I got married, and me and my husband's been married almost 30 years. We got 2 sons, that's 24 and 28. And while raising them, we still kept them in the activities too, but we also kept them in, shotgun sports, showing livestock, many other sports. So we would just not fish that much. But once our youngest son got graduated, we went right back into it full force. And there's pretty much not a weekend that don't go by or a day or two during the week when we're able to go. We're out there either on the ocean, on the lake, in the river, on a pond. We're somewhere like that. So, yeah, awesome. Absolutely love it.
So being where you're located, so it sounds like you have pretty easy access to a whole variety of fishing, just whatever you're wanting to do that particular day, right?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. Can go from anywhere from Keaton to Steenahatchee to Horseshoe, Spring Warrior, Osceola, Ikefina. Oh my gosh. Lots of places. And then we live out in the country, so we got lots of access to plantation ponds and lakes. We go to Lake Seminole up in Georgia around Bainbridge and some other places. So just whatever we feel like we want to get out and do, depending on the weather and the tides and stuff like that, we'll just pick and choose where it's best to go, and we go.
It's fun. So multi-species, or do you have like certain fish you like to target?
Normally when we go out on the inshore, we fish for trout, flounder, red, triple tail, and cobia are migratory fish. And so when they move through our areas, which is normally starting, the cobia is like in May, we'll go target them fish too. During them times, we like to get out and try to target and catch them because we only have them move through certain times. But like flounder, and then the normal when we go fishing on freshwater, it's bass, it's specks, crappie, however anybody wants to call it. That's a controversial thing there, so I always like to say specks and crappie. And matter of fact, coming up in April, we're going somewhere to try to get on some shell crackers. So that'll be fun. So we just kind of all kinds. I mean, you name it, catfish, wherever we're at, whatever we catch, whatever bites.
I love it. So when you fish competitively, is it mostly you and your husband, or do you do other types of tournaments?
I do tournaments, but I mean, I'm not like a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest tournament that I have actually done that was a wonderful success, and it'll be a memory that'll hold special to my heart forever, was in 2021 at ICAST. It was the MLF for the black bass competition.
Yeah.
And me and my partners came in. We won with the biggest, at that point, it was 5 fish, and we broke 2 records in one day, the first females to ever take that title. And we brought in a total limit of 25 pounds, 10 ounces, which was a record breaker too. So that was an amazing time in my life that I will never, ever forget. Absolutely will hold that close to my heart.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of people I can thank for that, making that weekend, happen, my sponsors and stuff like that. But other tournaments I've done a lot of online tournaments, and I have did well in them tournaments, won different species categories, and a few local tournaments that I have been in as well. Now, future wise, I'm looking into some more tournaments and getting more into that field. So, because it's fun, I enjoy doing them. So we'll just see. But mainly, I love to get out to fish. It's like I was telling you before, I have anxiety, severe anxiety. So I love to get out on the water to clear my mind. It's like my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I just love to fish for myself. I love to take pictures of my catches, and I like to share that and what I do out on the water through the lens of my eyes. So hopefully to be a role model to other women, young girls coming up, children, and I mean, even men. I mean, I just want to let them see what they're missing. Get out, go do it, enjoy yourself. You only got one life to live.
Right. Well, yeah, so a couple things I want to talk a little bit more about. We'll get back to that record-breaking tournament. I do want to touch a little bit more on that, but to address the waters therapy and people, I feel like, and maybe you've observed the same thing, but definitely since the pandemic, I feel like mental health issues, anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff seems to be at an all-time high, or maybe it's just getting talked about more than it had been in the past. But I think it's so important to continue those conversations, and because I think there's a lot more people that are suffering from things like that, and they're trying to keep it to themselves and not talk about it and just deal with it. But the more we talk about it, the more we can share things like, hey, this is what I do. I get out on the water and I find it very therapeutic, very relaxing. Maybe you should give this a try. And so thank you for bringing that up. And
Absolutely.
It's always something I like to ask my guests is, you have this passion for the sport and for fishing. What is it that really draws you to it? What is it that you enjoy about it? And fishing is, I've heard it said many times, it's a sport that's a great equalizer. The fish don't care who's in the boat.
Absolutely. Everything you just said, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You did. I mean, that is so true. The fish do not care. People are, so many people since the pandemic are actually holding a lot or having a lot of anxiety and depression, which can lead to panic attacks. And it can be very debilitating.
Mm-hmm.
It can literally put you down into a deep, dark place. And that's what I hate seeing, because we also know that since the pandemic, and the anxiety and depression, all that out there, suicide rate has hit its highest. And a lot of people don't see that, there's ways that you can help your mental status by getting outdoors. And like with me, I get on the water, I enjoy it. I mean, that is my peaceful place when I'm out there. I enjoy the fishing. I enjoy the adrenaline of the fishing. You never know what you're going to catch. You never know how big it is. It just puts me at an all-time ease. My anxiety is, like gone. It makes me feel so much better. But a lot of people can't find an outing. They just don't know. Like you said, they keep it to themselves, and they don't know who to talk to, and they don't know what to say. And a lot of people's embarrassed by it. But one thing about it, you have to control it. Don't let it control you. Get up, live life. You only have one life to live. And when you find something productive to do, whether you want to get on the water or whether you want to, I don't know,
golf,
get in the woods, yeah, get in the outdoors. I mean, find something that you really love to do. And it really helps, Angie. I mean, absolutely it helps. It helps me.
Yeah.
And I've been having problems with anxiety and even bouts of depression and stuff like that for 26 years now. So finding my outing out on the water and being in the outdoors is my therapy, and it's a tremendous help.
Yeah, it's so important that everybody have that outlet because you have to. I mean, life is challenging. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It seems like, more challenges keep presenting themselves to us every day, and you have to have some kind of release. And so for us, like I can relate to your passion because obviously fishing is my big passion as well. And when you're out there on the water and you're fishing, it's very easy to forget about everything else because you're just focused on what you're doing. And
Yeah.
that's definitely what I love about it. And I think why I love tournament fishing, especially because you're also now you're coupled in that competitive part of it, and you want to do well, and so you're really focused when you're
Absolutely.
when you're in a tournament situation. And so yeah, it's I love those, basically for me 4 weeks out of the year that I get to really just unplug and think nothing else but fishing and catching fish.
Absolutely. And you got the scenery around you too. You
Hmm.
just be surprised what you see. I mean, whether you're on a lake, whether you're on the ocean, whether you're on a river, the scenery is just peaceful too. I mean, along,
Yeah.
with the fishing. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a
wildlife
wonderful
of
place.
all kinds, birds, otters, deer, all the
Yes.
different
The
things you get to see.
dolphins,
Yeah.
manatees. I mean, we've had a manatee stay by our boat before. Dolphins stay by our boat, and I mean, I'm like a child. I'll just get there and just get down there and try to play with them and provoke them up there so I can, video them and get pictures of them. I mean, I'm literally like a child.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a fun part of it too.
It is.
So I want to go back a little bit and talk about that. So that tournament you mentioned, that was the ICAST Cup, and had you been to ICAST before?
No, I have not.
Okay.
That was the first time. I've always wanted to go, and I've always heard about it. And just never have went. And at that time, I was in with I had talked to Wanda and with
Mhm.
the sisterhood, and she was discussing the women coming together, getting a group of people together about going and everything like that. So I got up with one of my sponsors and talked to them about going under them, which was Fish Bites, and I absolutely love them. And they got me, and I fished a tournament under Fish Bites. I was at ICAST under Fish Bites as well, and I met a lot of amazing women. Women I've met on the internet, that I've seen online, through all the social media platforms, and actually got to meet them one on one, face to face, and that was a blessing. There along too. You meet a lot of amazing people in the fishing industry when you get out there, and you
Mhm.
you know be proactive and different areas, whether it's clinics for children, whether it's ICAST, no matter what it is, it's just what happened. And actually, I had my partner. that I was originally supposed to fish the tournament with had a conflict in her schedule, so I wasn't able to fish with her. And then another girl reached out to me on social media and was like, "Hey, have you got a partner yet? Would you, if not, would you like to partner up with me?" And I was like, "Well, sure." And so I think the stars, how they say the stars and the moon align just right.
Yeah.
And so that was just crazy.
And
That was just a crazy. Never would imagine that. Never expected that. Did not pre-fish.
yeah.
It was crazy.
Now in that tournament, I mean, it's only a few hours long, right?
It's 4 hours.
4 hours.
That is correct.
So that's a
And I'm
lot
gonna
of
tell
weight
you.
to catch in 4 hours.
Ooh. And we had, and you know what? We were on one spot. We went to
Wow.
one spot, and that whole spot we sat there for 4 hours.
That'd be
And
fun.
I have never fished so hard in my life. I was so focused, and it was hot. Oh my gosh, was it hot? But yeah, 4 hours. We
Wow.
and we even released a bunch
Yeah, because you can
of
only keep
bass back.
5, right? So
Correct.
you're probably catching fish after fish, and you got to keep the biggest ones. Basically, is what you want to do, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I imagine you did release a lot of fish.
And even after the weigh-in and everything had happened, the fish that we had caught was returned. We got on the boat, took them back out there, and they were released back to the same place we caught them.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So, if they do it again this year, which I'm guessing they will, I am actually seriously thinking about fishing it, this July.
Oh,
So,
that would be awesome. Now, I will tell you, last year's ICAST, it was rough.
was it?
The water was low. There was hydrilla. The grass was terrible. Boats were overheating. And the morning that we went out, you get there at 5 o'clock that morning, and they do our talking and get that out the way before, and you go out and numbers. And they lowered the fish from 5 to 3. That's how rough it was last July. So it was some rough fishing last July. But I think out of like 77 boats, or it might have been 87, I don't quote me on that for sure. There was only 40 boats that actually weighed back in.
Oh wow.
It was very rough. And we weighed back in, and we didn't like, I think we finished, if I'm not mistaken, like 31st place
Okay.
out of about almost 80 boats.
Yeah.
So
Better than half.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're not, like everybody was like, "Oh, do you feel pressure? Do you feel?" No, I don't feel pressure. I feel like everybody has their day. And everything's going to happen the way it's going to happen. Did I go to ICAST this past year expecting to win again? It would have been nice, but no, I didn't. I wasn't setting my mind saying, "Okay, we're going to come back and we're going to win this again." I feel like that one win happened for a reason, and if it meant to be again, it'll be meant to be again. But you would love it. I was going to ask you if you was going to come this year.
Yeah, so I've got the new Crestliner boat that I'm running this year, the MX-19, and it's a perfect boat for that type of fishing. Grass, shallow, all that kind of stuff. So I did get to fish Toho for the first time while I was down in Florida this season. I drove,
great.
yeah, I drove up there, and it was funny. MLF was there fishing the Kissimmee chain, and so I actually didn't even know that when I planned my trip to go check it out. But it was kind of cool to be out there with the MLF guys and kind of see where they were fishing and what they were doing. Didn't catch anything, but I learned a lot. I actually went out with the guy that you guys were with, I think. And so he kind of showed me some good areas that would come into play in the summertime and not necessarily while we were there in February.
Oh,
So
well, that was nice.
yeah, definitely. So it kind of
Well,
gave me a good
good.
idea of what to expect and kind of what to plan for. Now, how much of it I'm going to remember come July, I'm not sure, but at least I have some kind of thought about it in my mind. There will probably be a lot more grass than what was there when I was there, but But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. So I think I'm gonna try to fish it with Janine Blair. Do you know Janine? Have you ever
I
met her?
have heard that name, but
Okay.
no, I don't believe I have actually met her.
Okay, so nothing's set in stone yet, but her and I have chatted about it, and she's excited if she's able to make that happen. So I think that would be a lot of fun, just to get out there and fish and have a good time. And you know, if we do well, great. If not, it's
That's right. It's about the fun. It's about, and connecting with people. Because, I mean, there's a lot of really, really big women in the industry
hmm
that, goes and fishes that tournament and attends ICAST. And I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. So
yeah, and we'll
you won't
be.
you won't regret it.
No, yeah, I'm definitely, I think it will just be a lot of fun. And we're doing our women's meetup again at Maggiano's that Wednesday night of iCast. So anybody listening, just kind of save the date on your calendar if you want to come to that. We,
And I missed it last year
yeah,
because I missed the gate to get tickets
ah,
on getting there because I know they only have like so many,
yes.
a certain space. So I'm gonna be on top of it with BB this year. So
Yeah,
that way I'm not
definitely. Definitely
I
stay
don't
on top
mess
of it.
up.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did have to cap it at 80 ladies and we had right at 80 ladies come out. So this year we're able to expand it to 100. So we'll be
Wow,
able to get
wonderful.
yeah, we'll be able to get a few more in the doors that weren't able to make it. Is there's no cost. We have some great sponsors stepping up to the plate to cover the food and the drinks. It's not a sit down meal, just so nobody expects that, but heavy hors d'oeuvres. So you can really make it a meal if you want to. But it's more about networking and just having a space where just the ladies can get together off site and have a good time. So
Absolutely.
looking forward to that. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. So you mentioned you might be going after some shell crackers soon. Anything else coming up that you want to mention?
Oh my goodness. I've got a few things that's coming up as far as like some magazines I
Oh,
cover.
cool.
Um, and I'm excited about that. I cherish every one of them. I know a lot of people question me and like, do you make money off of this? And do they pay you to do these or do they do that? And the answer to that is no.
Mm.
Um, I just enjoy, like I told you earlier, I just enjoy sharing my catches and what I do through the lens of my eyes, just to hopefully get other women to look and be like, hey, if this woman, I'm 49 years old, I'm not ashamed of my age. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I can't do that at this age, or I can't do this if I'm not this. Anyone is capable of doing it. Submit your pictures. Just, and whatever happens, happens. And I've been blessed and I love it. So it's fishing and
Yeah.
I enjoy it and I love it and it's my passion. So every feature in a magazine, every cover I get, it's I don't take it for granted. It's a blessing. And it definitely enlightens me and makes me feel better and it feels like I'm doing something right and I'm going in the right direction and trying to help people. So I got some of that coming up. There's a couple of tournaments I'm looking into coming up in Steenahatchee. I am looking into fishing a redfish series tournament,
Oh, cool.
which I've never done before. So this is going to be kind of different for me too. And I'll be able to put the dates out there as I know sooner on my social media platforms. I'll put them out there for people, but and share it with them. So yeah, and just lots of fishing
Yeah.
as much as I can. I just want to live while I'm alive.
Love it. So, and then the social media platforms you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Those
Yes, I
be
got a TikTok and I'm just working on that, building
okay.
that TikTok up.
It's a lot of
I'm trying
work.
to get in. Oh my gosh, it is. I've heard a lot of people say, I have sat there for 3 to 4 hours trying to make a TikTok and I'm still not done. And I can see where they're coming from because you want it to look good, and you're trying to make it, right, and and you second guess yourself, and you go back and you remove this, you add this, but yeah, I'm building on that too.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I went to the Outdoor Media Summit 2 years ago. They had a panel on TikTokers, and one of them, she had some success, and she was monetizing her account, but when she said how long it takes her to make like I don't know how many second TikTok video, how many hours she put into it, I'm like, oh man, I don't have that kind of time. That's ridiculous. So
Well,
it's
it is. That's why when you go on my TikTok and you'll look, I mean, I think I got like six, uh,
yeah,
6 videos, and I'm going, okay, you can do this. You just got to work at it, but it's right.
it's
It
a
takes
full-time job.
hours. Woo,
I
it
mean,
sure is.
really. So, you
It's time
wanna
consuming.
so I'll put a link to all those your social platforms in the show notes for this episode so people can easily go follow you and stay up to date with all your adventures and future tournaments and magazines and all of that. Um, and then do you want to give a quick shout out to some of your sponsors?
Oh, absolutely. We can't without my sponsors. There's a lot that I would not be able to do. I absolutely, definitely a huge shout out to Fish Bites. Anytime I need anything, which all my sponsors are like this, but they've always got me to ICAST. They pay for my tournament fees. They pay for me to be there. I go there under their names. I'll go to their booth. I'll do some promotion and networking for them as I'm walking around and getting to meet other people, but I'm also want to be thankful, and I want to thank Luz and Strike King, Carolyn with Atlas Track, Four Horsemen Tackle, Caden Lures, Texas Rattler, Saltaholics Apparel, and of course, me and Terry are now co-owners of our group, the Women's Fishing Village.
Awesome.
So yes, absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Yeah, and so I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. And thank you again for taking some time to be on the podcast. Glad to finally have you on the show. And just keep doing what you're doing, being an inspiration. The more that you get out there, the more other ladies are going to see that. And, like you said before, she can do it, I can do it. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And thank you. It has been an honor and a pleasure for you having me on with the podcast. It's made my day, and I'm glad I got to get up and chat with you and talk with you, and I'll be following you and your adventures too, and I'm very proud of you and what you're doing, so keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.